The Scorch Trials is the second book preceded by the 2007 novel The Maze Runner in a young adult dystopian science fiction trilogy by James Dashner. The novel was published October 5, 2010 by Delacorte Press, an imprint of Random House. On October 11, 2013, it was reported that Fox had acquired the rights to The Scorch Trials. The movie will be released on September 18, 2015. Plot: Protagonist Thomas and the other Gladders have escaped the maze and are put into a dormitory. The next day, the Gladders are in another dormitory, and people called cranks are moaning and screaming through the windows of the room. The Gladders leave the room, only to find dead bodies hanging from the ceiling, and later find that Teresa, the only girl in their group, has gone missing. Thomas tries to find her with his friends Minu and Newt. Instead, they find a boy named Aries, who says that he was in another dormitory before, and woke here. An alarm rings. And when it stops, food appears on a table, and the Gladders eat. A man in a white suit tells them that he represents a group called Wicked, and that Earth has been ravaged by solar flares, and by a deadly disease also called the flare. He continues that if the Gladders survive his tests, they could assist in the creation of a cure for the disease. Following his directions, the Gladders go into the open through a deep dark tunnel. Outside is a barren, dry, and hot wasteland. Having left the tunnel, they discover Teresa, who warns them against proceeding, but continue nonetheless. The next day, wind and thunder threaten the Gladders. Some are killed during the storm, but most take shelter, including Thomas, Minu, Newt, and 8 others. There, they meet another group of people and work with their leader Jorge and his acquaintance Brenda. Thomas is shot and captured by cranks and rescued by Minu and the Gladders. It is revealed that there were 2 test groups, whereof Group B captures Thomas, insisting on the necessity of killing him. In the epilogue, an email is featured, that Wicked will soon tell the Gladders whether or not they are immune to the flare. Characters: Thomas, the protagonist, a teenage boy who was a runner in the glade. He discovers he had some part in building Wicked and the maze. He can speak telepathically with Aris and Teresa. The tattoos on the back of his neck given to him by the researchers tell him he is to be killed by Group B. Newt, a British boy with long blonde hair, he is the leader of the Gladders after the former leader died in the first novel. He has a slight limp and is Thomas and Minu's best friend. The tattoos on the back of his neck designate him as the Glue. Minu, a Korean-American boy who was the keeper of the runners in the glade. He is snarky and aggressive, which gets him in trouble frequently. He is best friends with Newt and Thomas. The tattoos on the back on his neck show the researchers intend for him to be the leader. Brenda, a girl from Canada who is immune to the flare, but pretends that she has it. She leads Thomas and the Gladders through the Scorch. She is friends with Jorge. She secretly works for Wicked. Aris Jones, another boy who helped build Wicked. He spent the first novel with Group B. He can speak telepathically with Thomas and Teresa. His best friend, Rachel, was killed when Group B escaped their maze. She also had the telepathic ability. The tattoos on his neck designate him as the partner. Teresa Agnes, Thomas' best friend before the glade. She can speak telepathically with Thomas and Aris. She spends much of the novel with Group B, whom she becomes the leader of. She is also under control of Wicked at times, which makes it difficult for Thomas to trust her. The tattoos on her neck designate her as the betrayer. Jorge Galapaga, a man who presents himself as the leader of the cranks. He appears dangerous and psychotic yet also humorous. He is close to Brenda. Sonia, a leader of Group B. Harriet, a leader of Group B, Ratman, the first researcher to present himself to the group. He is later revealed to be named Jansen, a member of Wicked. Thomas develops an intense dislike for Jansen. Rachel, a girl involved with Thomas, Aris and Teresa before the maze and played the same role as Thomas, but in Group B was killed when Group B left their maze. Frappan, the cook for the Gladders in Group A. Winston, the keeper of the slicers in Group A, responsible for killing the livestock for food. Film adaptation, on October 11, 2013. It was reported that Fox had acquired the rights to the Scorch Trials. A screenplay will be written by T.S. Nowlin, with director Wes Ball supervising the scriptwriting. The film will be titled The Maze Runner, Scorch Trials. On July 25, 2014, Ball announced at San Diego Comic-Con International that they want to start shooting in fall 2014 should its predecessor become a success when it hits the theaters in September 2014. Also unveiling a concept image at the conference, which leads us to assume that he will be directing the sequel as well. However, 2 weeks prior to the film's release, 20th Century Fox decided to move ahead with the sequel, and pre-production as well as prepping the sets began in early September 2014 in New Mexico. Director Wes Ball is set to return, as are actors Dylan O'Brien, Ki-Hong Lee, Thomas Brody Sangster, Kyle Scodelario and Patricia Clarkson. References